विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्यति नामिने नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्यति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर् गोविंद सर्वकारण कारणम्। Hare Krishna. By Lord Sri Krishna's causeless mercy, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita every day. So by Krishna's mercy, we have finished 29 slokas in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. That is the opulence of the Absolute. So Krishna is now giving so much of knowledge about Krishna's opulence. We are getting this knowledge directly from Krishna. We are very, very fortunate that we are getting this knowledge, because this knowledge is the light through which all our darkness is completely getting dissipated. Because we are living in the world which is, even though we think that scientifically we are so much advanced, but spiritually we are so much blind. Because we call it this as modern world with so much advancement, but our ancient civilization, our ancient culture, actually that was so much specialized in spiritual knowledge, spiritual advancement. So unfortunately, this spiritual advancement is declining. That is due to our so much of attachment to material sense objects. Because this Bhagavad Gita, actually it was taught in the schools. This Bhagavad Gita, what we call it as Gurukulam. So there, when the children, they go, so they study only Bhagavad Gita, nothing else. So this Bhagavad Gita was coming through disciplic succession, and this knowledge is exactly as it is we are studying now, because all these years, all this time in the past, this knowledge has come through the disciplic succession. Say 5,000 years ago, Krishna gave this knowledge to Arjuna in the battlefield, which has been recorded very nicely by Vyasadeva in the Mahabharatam. So this Mahabharat, so this Bhagavad Gita is a part of this Mahabharat. So from that time onwards until now, we have that same Mahabharat as it is, and that same Bhagavad Gita as it is. So nobody can make even a slight change in this Bhagavad Gita slokas. Nobody can do that. It's really Krishna's knowledge, and each and every word is just coming from Krishna only, because this is a song, this Bhagavad Gita is a song, and everything is coming from Krishna, and nobody can go and change it. That's what we need to understand. Because this Bhagavad Gita is the purest knowledge. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, this is the Pavitram. This Bhagavad Gita is the Pavitram. It's the purest knowledge. And Krishna didn't just say that Bhagavad Gita is a Pavitram. Krishna also said in Bhagavad Gita that there is nothing else which is purer than this Bhagavad Gita. Nahi jnanena sadarsam pavitram iha vidyate. There is nothing else is purer than this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. That's what nahi jnanena sadarsam pavitram iha vidyate. Tatsvayam yoga samsiddhaga kalena atmani vindari. So that Bhagavad Gita knowledge, which is a pavitram, which is the purest knowledge, which is just coming through disciplic succession, as it is we are studying every day. It's just coming. So that way, Krishna's mercy, we are getting this knowledge. Even though in this so-called modern world, but one advantage with this science is that we are able to use this scientific advancement in spreading Krishna's message in a very sophisticated way. Those days, the saints, the acharyas, the gurus, they were traveling everywhere to give this knowledge. So they don't stay in their home. So they have to go, they have to travel. They have to travel means they just leave the home. That's it. So they just leave the home and just go everywhere to go and give this knowledge. So we know the history that like the acharyas went everywhere to all different parts of the Bharata Desha. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came all the way to the south and he went to the north and he went everywhere. And he found this Brahma Samhita, that is the glories of Krishna by Lord Brahma. So he found it in one temple in the southmost part of the India, near Kanyakumari. So Thiruvattar Adikesava Perumal temple. So that's where he found it. So that way, and also we know that Lord Sankaracharya, he went all the way to the north, and then Ramanujacharya went everywhere. So like that, they have to travel everywhere to give this knowledge. But for us, in this 21st century, with so much advancement in science, with technology, with internet, and even just 10 years ago, I was struggling hard to get this knowledge to everyone. It was very difficult. So even 10 years ago, also calling internationally was very expensive actually. And 20 years ago, it was very, very expensive. And also this kind of internet technology, Zoom, all those things were not there. So, but now Krishna's mercy, we have got this many opportunities, like just wherever we are, just immediately, just with one click, and just get connected to this knowledge and study Bhagavad Gita, understand Bhagavad Gita. So that way we don't have to travel anywhere. I want to teach this Bhagavad Gita, or if you want to teach this Bhagavad Gita to anyone, you want to spread this message of Krishna to anyone. So now just by sitting at where we are able to do this task very nicely. So that way, this science we need to use in Krishna's service very, very nicely, because this is a great opportunity. So this is an action which we can do with so much of returns, with so much for Krishna. Anything when in industries in the world, when they want to invest something, so they always think about what is the return on investment. So that's what they want to know it, ROI. So here, of course, we also want returns. So our returns is to make Krishna's devotees, and our investment is our time and knowledge. So we need to invest our time and knowledge, nothing else. We don't have to invest money. We don't have to spend a single penny. We don't have to invest money, our time and our knowledge. And that both is Krishna, is given by Krishna. The knowledge Krishna is giving us, Mattaga smritir jnanam apohanam cha, from me comes remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. And the time is Krishna. Kalam kalayatam aham, of all these subduers, I am time. Aham eva kshayaha kalam, I am the unlimited time. Then aham kalosmi lokakshaya krit pravritto lokan samahartum iha pravrittaha. I am kalam, I am the time. So Krishna is the time. Kalam kalayatam aham kalosmi. Aham kalo kshaya evam. So everything. So Krishna is the time. So we have Krishna with us. The time is with us. We need to effectively use this time, and we need to have this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. If these two things, if we are able to invest, so then what is the return on investment? So the return is that we are going to make devotees. We are going to make Krishna's devotees everywhere. And that is not just the return on investment. The actual return is we will return to Goloka. That is, we will go to Goloka. We will go to Krishna's will. So that is the real benefit what we are going to get. The complete, the permanent blissful life in Krishna's abode. So that's what we are going to get by doing this. So we will be completely detached from this material world. We don't have to think about anything in this material world. We don't have to worry about anything in this material world. So when our mind is fully fixed on Krishna, when we don't think about anything in this material world, so then we will be able to lead a happy life, blissful life in this life itself, in this world itself. We will be able to experience that unlimited enjoyment, Atma Sukham. That Atma Sukham means that happiness within ourselves will be able to experience by Krishna's mercy. That's what Krishna is giving us every day. So with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. That's why we are studying Bhagavad Gita every day. So for us, this time is fixed. We are studying Bhagavad Gita. We are hearing from Krishna. So as I explained in the previous class, this is the communication directly from Krishna to us. You can consider this as a letter from Krishna or an email from Krishna or anything. So this is Krishna has directly communicated with us in this Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is directly talking to us in this Bhagavad Gita. He's giving us the knowledge. He's completely giving us the knowledge he's giving us the instructions about what we should do in our life. Every day, every minute, each and every minute. So Krishna is going to that extent that you don't eat too much, don't eat too little, don't sleep too much, don't sleep too little. Take care of your health, take care of your body, take care of everything. And just remember me, just yukta, just regulate all the activities. Yukta ahara viharasya, yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta swapno vabodasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. So if you perform this yogo bhavati dukkha, when you achieve this yoga, when you achieve this status of equanimity, not getting affected by the results, being equal in both success and failure, so your dukkha, your distress is minimized. You will not have any dukkha. You are not going to be worried. You are not going to be bothered. There is no distress at all. So that is the way to completely free ourselves from all the distress. No one else can help. We cannot simply think that, I can live whatever way I want. I can go to the doctor and get some medicines, and maybe I can rely on the medicines. There is no need to go and eat medicine for blood pressure. Just studying Bhagavad Gita, chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, remembering Krishna will make sure that our heart beats normally and our blood pressure is under control. There is no need. Because all these things, if we are able to control our tongue, that's what Krishna is teaching us in Bhagavad Gita, control your senses. So if we are able to control our hands and legs, when we are taking something and eating all the time unlimited, there is uncontrollably when we start gratifying the senses, so then we get into trouble. Then we are not able to take care of even our body, our health. So, but with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, if we are able to spend Krishna, that means if we are able to spend our time, so very wisely with Krishna's mercy, because Krishna is there as the super soul in our heart. So then we will be able to lead a blissful life in this world itself. So no need to worry about our future, what's going to happen. This future is uncertain for everyone in this world. Nobody can think, nobody can be guaranteed what their future is going to be. Anything can happen to anyone in this world at any point of time. But a devotee need not worry about all those things. A devotee just fully depend on Krishna. That's it. Whatever happens, that happens by Krishna's mercy. And Krishna is there with us all the time. And Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, and He wants all of us to enjoy only. He doesn't want us to suffer. So that way, Krishna Himself is not going to come and create problems for us. Only we are putting ourselves in danger in this world. Without the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, each and every step, there are hidden dangers. Everywhere there are problems. When we think that we are this body, and when we get attached to the material sense objects, we are putting ourselves in problems. If you just follow the path, if you just follow the way Krishna is teaching in this Bhagavad Gita, just study this Bhagavad Gita, all the chapters, all the slokas, understand them very well, and then keep on reading, keep on studying this Bhagavad Gita. And the best way is to tell this to others, share this knowledge to others. That way we will study more, that way we will understand more. And that type of understanding this Bhagavad Gita is going to help us to memorize all these slokas and to follow all the instructions given by Krishna and to do everything as an offering unto Krishna. So that way this Bhagavad Gita is eternal knowledge, and it is the time-tested knowledge. And nobody can come and change this Bhagavad Gita. Nobody can rewrite. You cannot find versions of Bhagavad Gita. You can find versions of other things, but all these Vedic studies, these scriptures, everything, this Bhagavad Gita, everything, Srimad Bhagavatam, everything is only one version. That's it. It has come from Krishna and it is written by Srila Vyasadeva. Everything, it has been recorded very nicely from day one, and it is the same from day one. No need to go and change it. This is version 2. So there are some problems here and there, some mistakes here and there. So let us make it version 2, version 1 and version 2 and 3, 4, like that. There is no need to change anything. Nobody can come and change it, change this Bhagavad Gita also, because it is directly coming from Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, and Sri Krishna. That way, when we study Bhagavad Gita, when we share Bhagavad Gita, we need to acknowledge, we need to understand that Krishna is there. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. So without mentioning the name of Krishna, without accepting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God, simply saying that, oh, God is anyone can be God, I am God, you are God, all of us are gods, that's all are nonsense. Just say what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Just be a postman, that's it, in between. So just spread Krishna, just deliver what Krishna gave it, that's it. So that's what we are doing. Every day when we study in Bhagavad Gita, we are not studying anything different, or we are not changing anything. We are just following each and every sloka and just going through the way Krishna wants us to understand, the way Krishna wants us to understand. That's very, very important. So if we just keep Krishna with us, if we just surrender unto Krishna and accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if we believe that, then Krishna's mercy, we are going to understand each and every sloka in Bhagavad Gita without any problems, without any issues. That way, this is what we are doing every day, is just not an ordinary event. It's not an ordinary thing. We are actually getting the time-tested knowledge of this Bhagavad Gita. This Bhagavad Gita knowledge is the only knowledge which is going to free ourselves from this material bondage completely. As I said in one of the previous class, that we are bonded to this body. This soul is bonded to this body. For bonding, even in chemical bonding also, we study there are so many different bonds are there, if anyone knows chemistry in detail. And those bondings, actually they need not share electrons, they're just having a different opposite charges, they are getting attracted. So like that here, since when we are attached to sense objects, so then we are automatically pulled, we are attracted to this material body. When our mind focuses on sense objects, then the soul is getting attracted to this material body. So that bondage is either strong or weak. Everything depends upon how much attachment, how much we are thinking about material sense objects. If we have no knowledge about Krishna, if we are completely focused, if we are so much attached to this material world, material sense objects, so then our soul is so much attached, so much attracted to this material body, bonded to this material body. So that is called bondage. That is called karma bandha, janma bandha. And we need to break that bonds. We need to cut all the bonds. We need to cut them by giving up all those attachments. Asanga sastrena dridena chitva. So with the weapon of detachment, we need to cut all our attachments. That's what asanga sastrena dridena chitva. That weapon we can get by studying and understanding this Bhagavad Gita only. Because with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then we will get sangam, attachment to Krishna. So with the attachment to Krishna, we can forget about this material world. So everything starts with our mind. That is the main thing. We should mind our own mind. That's what is very, very important. So mind your own business. We heard about it. So everyone's business should be Krishna. So we should mind Krishna. That's why Krishna is saying that manmana. Manmana means think about me. Manmana. Manmana mam, manmaya mam upashitaga. So just shelter unto knowledge. Take shelter unto Krishna with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita by thinking about Krishna. Just take shelter unto him. Then by Krishna's mercy, costless mercy, we will be able to remember only Krishna. And at the time of death, we will be connected only with Krishna. And we will be able to only remember only Krishna. Since we don't have any attachment to this material sense objects, then that bond has been complete. All those bonds have been completely broken, and the soul is freed. And when the soul is freed from this material world, so then we can just escape from this material world. Escape from this material body. Just when we want to send rockets into space, it has to escape from this earth. That's why you call that velocity at which the rocket goes out of this earth, you call it as that escape velocity. So it has to go above certain velocity so that it can get out of the earth's gravitational pull. So like that, we are all pulled by these sense objects. We are all pulled by our attachment to the material sense objects. We need to cut all those attachments and then escape from this world and go to Krishna's abode. All these things can happen if we are able to make sure that we study and understand this Bhagavad Gita fully. Then it is going to happen. There is no doubt about it. When we study, when we understand this Bhagavad Gita fully, automatically we are going to share this knowledge to everyone. We are not going to simply sit idle. By having the full knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we are not just going to sit idle. For example, even in my case, when I studied Bhagavad Gita, when I memorized all these slokas, I felt I found it so much happiness, so much knowledge, so much science in this Bhagavad Gita. So that way, by going through each and every sloka, what Krishna says, which is coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so we are getting so much realization, so much understanding about our own self. So that way, just having that knowledge, now Krishna is giving an opportunity to give this knowledge, to share this knowledge with everyone, with a lot of devotees. All we are able to make now many devotees. We are all connected from different parts of the world. And every day we are studying Bhagavad Gita. So that way, Krishna's mercy, if we just get this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita fully as it is, then Krishna will engage us in serving him. Krishna will make sure that we don't sit idle, and we will just go and give this knowledge to everyone. That will automatically happen by Krishna's mercy. But we just have to consciously study this Bhagavad Gita, understand and memorize and read every day and remember Krishna and chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and make prasadam and offer it to Krishna and just be Krishna conscious all the time. That's it. So in the 10th chapter, in the opulence of the Absolute, Krishna is teaching us so much about his opulence. Krishna is giving so much knowledge. Because Arjuna gave, even though Krishna said that I will explain you the most prominent ones, because there is no limit to my opulence. But even whatever we are getting this knowledge, starting from the 10th chapter, 28th sloka, now 42 slokas, basically up to 42, this 10th chapter has got 42 slokas. So Krishna is giving so much opulence about himself, and it is giving us so much knowledge that Krishna is everything. Now, very often the question comes that when I worship other gods, how should I worship? That's a very good question. Excellent questions. There should come. We are all devotees of different gods also. Even I was a devotee of a different god before studying Bhagavad Gita. So that way, we just study Bhagavad Gita. I have seen many devotees after studying Bhagavad Gita, even though they were worshipping different god. I have seen, personally, I have seen many friends, many devotees, they have all accepted Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. That's what this knowledge takes us into. This Bhagavad Gita knowledge makes us to understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. That's why Krishna is saying that anyone who knows without any confusion that I am the Purushottama, they are the knower of everything, and they will worship me in all respects. So if you worship Krishna, if you accept Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, so then we are going to simply remember Krishna all the time, knowing very well that all other gods will be very much pleased with our activities. Nobody is going to get upset, or nobody is going to get angry that, oh, you are not remembering me, you are only worshipping Krishna. Like that, no god is going to say that, because everyone knows that Krishna is the supreme personality of God. So in the 10th chapter, in the sloka 29, what we studied yesterday, Anantaschasmi naganam varuno yadasamaham pitrunam aryamaschasmi yamaha samyamatamaham. So of all the many-hooded nagas, so I am Ananta, Anantaschasmi naganam. Then Krishna is saying that Anantaschasmi naganam varuno yadasam aham. Of all the aquatic beings, I am Varuna. I am the god Varuna. And so that way, Anantaschasmi naganam varuno yadasam aham pitrunam aryamaschasmi. Of all the pitrus, I am Aryama. Yamaha samyamatam aham. Of all the like who gives punishment, I am Lord Yama. So that way, Yamaha samyamatam aham. So now in the next sloka, what we are studying, in the sloka number 30, in the 10th chapter, 30th sloka, Krishna is teaching us that Prahladaschasmi daityanam kalaha kalayatamaham mriganam cha mrigendroham vainateyascha pakshinam. Prahladaschasmi Daityana. Of all the Daityas, of all the demons, I am Prahlada. So Prahladaschasmi Daityanam. So he is the son of Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu was a demon. So Krishna is saying that of all the demons, so of all the Daityas, so I am Prahlada. Prahladaschasmi Daityanam. So he is the devotee of Krishna. So he brought Lord Narasimhadev from the pillar. So Kalaga Kalayatam Aham. Of all the subduers, of among subduers, I am Kala. I am the time. Kalaga Kalayatam Aham. So time has got the answer for everything. So everything is simply a matter of time. That's it. Everything is finished. Just the matter of time. Krishna is saying that Kalosmi, Aham Kalosmi, Lokakshayat Krit Pravritto, Lokan Samahatum Iga Pravartaka. I am the time. I've come here to destroy everything. So simply everything is just a matter of time. So we many times, the time is, if you notice, the time is always independent. So we have in the mathematics or any subject when we study, there are normally dependent and independent. Even when we study mathematics, the first basic thing when we start about the equation, it's a very thing we know, everyone knows that y equal to a function of x. So here, always, everything is a function of time, f of t. Everything is a function of time. So even if we take our life as a function of time from our birth, so when at the time of death, everything comes to zero. That's it. As far as our life in this material world is concerned, everything is finished, just as a function of time. So we are living in this world only in decades. We can count our life in this world in decades. Maybe in years when we count, it looks like we are living for so many years. Maybe if a person lives for 80 years or 90 years, we think that we are living for 80, 90 years. It looks like a little bit large. But if we just talk about in terms of decades, so that means we are living only 8 or 9 decades, even if a person lives up to 80 or 90 or even up to 100. But it's only decades, that's it. And the decades are going like seconds. If we just imagine in our life, the decades are just going like seconds. The 2020, it looks like it just started. It's just like the pandemic also started. But now almost one whole year we are living with this pandemic. And so that way, this time has got the answer for everything. So Krishna is saying that I am the time. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, so then Kalaha Kalayatam Aham. So then Krishna is saying that Mriganam cha Mrigendroham, of all the Mrigas, of all the animals, I am the Mrigendra, that is the lion. So Mriganam cha Mrigendroham. Then Vainateyascha Pakshinam, of all the birds, I am Garuda. So Krishna is the Garuda, Vainateyascha Pakshinam. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we have successfully finished the sloka number 30 in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna, I will stop now and we'll discuss if we have any questions. Hare Krishna.